this situation brewing in Philadelphia is very entertaining from outside looking in, but it feels like there's some real hate over there. Doesn't it feel like that?
It does, from the crowds, from the fans, from, outside the building, inside the building, on the field, off the field. One of my teams that I'm a fan of, but a little concerning.
Yeah, certainly with the way last season ended and how this season started, there's calls for concern from the Philadelphia Eagles faithful. And, early in the year, they beat the New Orleans Saints, and on an overreaction Monday, just like this one, all the Eagles fans were saying, get this guy to hell. That was after a win.
Yep.
Don't worry. Another win happens for the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Cleveland Browns, who have the biggest guaranteed contract to a quarterback in the history of the NFL. Boy, that is certainly something that is a part of a conversation piece as well.
Yeah.
But you know what everybody's saying after that Philadelphia Eagles win over there in Philly, Conman?
What's that?
You know what it is?
What?
Boy, they hate that head coach.
What?
Before the game even started, there was a photo of this dude. Coach Sirianni is now a bald man. Yes, coming out of the bye week, Coach Sirianni said, we need to change some things, maybe a little mojo difference. He shaves his head, and all Philadelphia Eagles fans go, oh, this dipshit. Now he's a bald man.
Come on.
Instead of this entire thing. So much so, going into halftime, it was actually reported from somebody that was there that the Eagles fans were chanting, fire Nick at halftime as he was walking off the field. So Coach Sirianni here, okay? Years into his tenure as a Philadelphia Eagles head coach, has had massive success as a Philadelphia Eagles head coach. He started with, we're going to plant seeds, and the seeds going to grow through more.
Less thinky.
And more athlete takeover-y. All this stuff he did. Then he wins. Then he wins the city over. Plus, he's a good paisan, so, things are going to go. Now at halftime of a game in which they would go on to win, the fans are chanting, fire Nick. So what does Nick Sirianni do? Well, as soon as that game's over and he's got in the bag, he decides to reply.
Ooh.
Hey fans, what was that? What? Ha! What'd you say, bitch? I didn't. You were talking. I can't hear you talking to me. This is at home. He's telling the crowd. Now, if you listen to sports media that was chatting about this today, boy, everybody hates this move.
Yeah.
Mike Greenberg was pissed. There's only 32 of these jobs in the world. You know how many people would die to have your job? Then after you win a game, after a crowd that has been rightfully so judgmental of you and how your teams have performed, you're going to go talk shit to the people paying $400, $500 for a ticket to come watch your team. Don't you do that. I, on the other hand, find it absolutely hysterical that he would talk shit to Philadelphia Eagles fans after a game is won, after they chant fire Nick, and then babyface heavy to the press conference afterwards. Because these local media that is in the press conference after the game, they're representing those fans that were saying fire Nick, and then Sirianni was chatting back to it at the end. So Coach Sirianni takes his 3 kids up to the press conference.
Ooh.
Yeah, he says, this is how I want to raise my family, how we're doing it. And how do you feel right now, Coach Sirianni?
No, just excited. Just excited to get the win. Just excited to get the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just excited.
It's hard to win in this league,
Yeah,
so we're
is.
excited to get the win.
And that's the most upbeat of that entire press conference. He would inevitably start really cooking because that's what Coach Sirianni does. He can't just keep his mouth shut because that's who he is. That's how he goes. And then he starts responding and bickering. And joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, we are incredibly lucky for this situation. Live from Philadelphia, in the middle of all of this, Coach Sirianni is here. Coach, it is great to see you. The bald head is going to take some time to get used to, Coach, I must say.
Yeah, well, Pat, to be honest with you, I shaved the head initially because everyone was calling for my job. I figure, hey, shave your head. Everyone's going to forget how you've been coaching. They're going to say, wow, this guy looks like a badass. He looks really cool with the bald head. I did forget yesterday. I didn't look at the weather. Very sunny in Philadelphia. Didn't bring my banana boat. Yeah, and my head is absolutely barbecue today. It hurts like hell. That's really the most pressing of my concerns right now. It's not all these, dipshit fair weather fans saying that I should be fired. It's not all these morons in sports media who couldn't hold my jock, who couldn't have my job, saying that I'm a clown. It's more so that I'm really worried how this is going to look next week when it starts to peel, and it's hurting today.
Okay. So you just said a lot there, and we'll certainly have to dive in, and the boys will have some questions for you as well, Coach. It looks like the hair's growing back, though. Is that the case? Are we going to keep it going? Or?
No, yeah, it is a little bit. You can see the roots are kind of starting to come in. I don't know if you can tell. The back, not so much. And I actually got some sort of little skin ponytail that started to grow. I don't know how that happened. Never seen that before. Maybe
sun poisoning.
It could be sun poisoning. It could be from the stress of going to a Super Bowl a couple years ago, and then a couple years removed, everyone says you're the worst coach of all time. I don't understand that.
Okay, so you have had success, Coach, and anytime we shave our heads, we don't know what our head's going to look like. That's why it's such a roll of the dice. I had no idea a skin ponytail was even possible.
Me neither.
Kind of looks like you have a do-rag ball.
I assure assure you, this is my actual bald head. This is not a do-rag of any kind.
Okay. All right. Coach, let's move on past your appearance because obviously that is going to be something we're going to have to get used to. You just mentioned it there. You have had great success there in Philadelphia. When do you think you lost the fans of Philly, and why did you decide to chirp back at them at the end there?
Well, I think it might have been when we went right into the pooper down the stretch last year. We started very, very good, obviously, and then we played like shit for about the last 3 months of the season, got embarrassed several times. But what's funny, Pat, is and the thing I don't really understand is when we're winning games, and I'm talking shit to the fans in Kansas City and saying, suck my sack and stuff like that. Everybody loves it. Right? Everybody loves it. And then we win yesterday, and I see a couple fat, drunk slobs who I love. They're Johns, if you will. And they're coming after my livelihood and my job, and I can't say, hey, tongue my bunghole. I can't yell that. Listen, everyone else has fun when you win a football game. I kind of said it there yesterday. Hard to win football games, okay? Hard to win football games in this league. So when we win football games, am I not entitled to have a little fun too? I mean, I work just as hard as everybody else, probably harder than a lot of people are working in order to win these football games. So I don't really know when the tide turned. But what I do know is, look at our division. You got two teams who, listen, they'd be killing to be a Philadelphia Eagle right now, or in our position. We got a long season left. We're uber talented team, very immensely talented, and that's the way it goes in Philly. One day you're Joe Schmo, and the next day you're the king of the hill. So I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, you're talking outhouse, penthouse situation in Philadelphia quickly, especially with that new haircut. You probably thought, they're going to love this. They're going to absolutely love this, even though how it looks. Coach, a man who has an AP vote, maybe Coach of the Year, which I don't know if you have on your eyes. Do you have your eyes set on Coach of the Year?
Always got my eyes set on Coach of the Year. People can act like they don't care. I happen to like hardware in my trophy room. So, I let's just say I do have my eye on Coach of the Year, Pat.
Okay, AP Tone has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, there's a stat, and I want to make sure I get this right here. You guys have scored 0 points in the first quarter through 5 games. That's the first time since 1934 that's happened.
Whoa.
I believe Lane Johnson said your offense is constipated. Do you have any cures for your constipated offense?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe ask Kellen Moore. I'm not the one calling plays. Everybody talks about how good this guy is. This guy should be a head coach. Everyone said I was a genius when I hired him. Hey, get rid of the last guy. He's not doing very good. You need to find someone like Shane Steichen. So we hire Kellen Moore, and the offense still sucks. So I don't know. Is that my fault? Is that Kellen Moore's fault? Maybe people need to just take a breather. Okay, listen, Jalen is a dog. He's a junkyard dog. He's going to figure it out. Saquon's still kind of getting acclimated to the offense. A.J. Brown's been hurt. No one wants to talk about that. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL.
Back.
Yeah, exactly. He's back yesterday. He had a pretty good game, didn't he? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you let us get healthy. You let our guys kind of coalesce into one piece like they haven't been able to do, and maybe we'll start scoring some points again. The people on these morning shows.
They're saying it's you not motivating too before the game. The speeches don't work anymore. What they're saying, Coach.
Well, you know what? That's to me. You hear something like that, and it's like, okay, well, this guy's a moron. This guy's an asshole. This guy doesn't know shit from apple butter. That's what I'm saying when I hear a lot of people talking this morning, because you haven't been in the meeting rooms with me, okay?
Mm-mm.
You know what I did before the Saturday night?
What's that?
I recited the entire script from Rocky 3.
The entire script?
Entire script. Yep.
How long did that take?
Well, they say the rule of thumb is it's usually about a minute a page. I believe Rocky 3 is about 103 minutes long. So, yeah, it was about an hour and 45-minute meeting. But guess what? Got the point across.
Yes, you just read it. Why didn't you show the movie? Why'd you read it to him?
Well, sometimes guys get a little sleepy, or they say, like, hey, Sly Stallone wasn't as good in Rocky 3 as he was in Rocky 4 or Rocky 1. I didn't want any of that mumbo-jumbo. I wanted to really emphasize that this is my message, okay? This isn't just Sly Stallone's message. This isn't Mr. T's message.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So and I don't know, would you do that if you didn't have the pulse of the locker room, if you didn't know how to properly motivate your team? I don't think you would. but I did.
It was 127 pages. Is that right? Am I hearing?
Yep, give or take a couple. There are a couple deleted scenes in there, but I like the guys to kind of know what's on the page and not necessarily on the screen as well. Very similar to a football game.
Process.
Exactly. So you know what? It's nice that someone's doing a little journalism and someone understands what's going on. Not just one of these talking heads who wants to call me a clown because I was yelling at fans and telling them to, go fuck themselves. Okay, big deal.
It wasn't what you said earlier. You said some other things about potential waffling from my understanding. Coach, we understand you're very busy, whether it's reading the entire Rocky 127-page script or, getting ready for your next opponent. But there's somebody in that building that I think is a vital piece, but where's he been? Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, always a pleasure. One of the guys that's always on your sideline, Big Dahn, and actually he's usually attached to the hip with you. Was he not involved in the kind of process after the game of, telling fans to go to hell? And did you run anything by him before maybe going over like, hey, should I say this? Should I say that? Or was this just off the cuff, you letting out some feelings?
That was just off the cuff. Listen, Big Dom is war ready. He knows, if I'm going to go kind of get into a kerfuffle or a scuffle with people, if we went and hit the bars in Philly after the game, Big Dom will be right there with me, smashing beer glasses over guys' heads and stuff like that. So he understands it. I don't want to say we're on the outs right now, but we kind of got into a heated argument. He basically intimated that he believes Geno's or Pat's is actually the superior cheesesteak to Dallas Andros. I took a little bit, I took some issue with that. So, things have been a little rocky. But no, listen, if I'm going to get into a fist fight with one of these fans, which is certainly possible, they throw shit at me after the games, even when we win, guess who's going to be the first guy to throw? I'm going to throw a right hand. What? Guess who's going to be the first guy to throw a left hand and break some John's jaw? It's going to be Big Dom. It's as simple as that. He loves me. I love him. I go everywhere with him, and he is always in my shadow. So, next time you want to, bump off at the gums or, maybe try to throw some horse poop at me or something like that, maybe just remember that. Maybe who's waiting in the wings for you.
Yeah, and I don't know if Big Dom's in anybody's shadow ever. It's a Big Dom show whenever he's around, which some people might think you might have a little.
I didn't love the, hey Dom, I get it. Camera's over there. It looks nice. Okay, I don't need to. Every TV copy I get back, I got Big Dom's head popping around like a goddamn Where's Waldo page.
You talking about this one from? I think the other
That's
night?
exactly what I'm talking about. That's
you.
exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, hey Dom, listen, you're gonna get your shine. I'm gonna put you over. Okay, I'm going to give you your shine. You don't need to be. Prairie dogging in every goddamn TV shot and picture I'm in. But I get it's Big Dom. That's why I love him. That's why everybody
that's why we love him.
Well said.
I think that is why. Last question, and we appreciate you once again. How do you feel this relationship with you and the Philly faithful kind of get back on good terms, or will it ever?
You got to win. This is the city of champions. Okay?
You did. You just did. Yeah. That's why it's so.
Yeah, but the let's be honest, the Browns absolutely fucking stink. So you beat the Browns. Big deal, okay? Deshaun Watson, everyone wants to listen. They got a whole other deal with that. I won't get into that. I'm not going to speak on that. He's not my quarterback. We need to win the division. It's really as simple as that. What you can't do is you can't go get beat by the Cowboys when they look like hammered dog shit every week. You can't get beat by them. Can't get beat by the Giants, who absolutely stink as well. You got to win the division. You got to at least have a ticket into the dance, because I believe if we have our dancing shoes and we get into the dance, we're going to be able to two-step on some folks like we weren't able to last year. It's as simple as that.
They said you guys are doing too much of the two-step. That's why it's constipated. Maybe we do some more steps. Do you have any more steps
like
in
the
there?
Waltz?
The salsa?
Are you familiar with the jitterbug?
Yes, very much so.
I know how the jitterbug as well. Yeah.
Jitterbug.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Sirianni, thank you.
Yeah, Coach.
Wow, man.
Jitterbug.
Coach is on one.
Yeah, he's fired up.
And see,
His hair is growing back, though?
Yeah,
Quickly.
oh,
yeah. I'm concerned
about that. Yeah.
that.
the skin.
Some people have that excess skin thing,
Yeah.
You get that removed. Bunching up back there.
It did start bunching up. You could get a surgery on that. Coach Sirianni doesn't have time for a surgery, though.
Yeah, I know.
There's no way. This is from Robin, Philly, at Robins, 460-39397. Robin, let X pick the number and everything at the end. Hashtag, I don't want to overreact, but having Nick Sirianni as a coach every week feels like a continuous loop of the Super Bowl loss. The only thing we gained in this bye week was dickhead haircut. Fire this guy and feed him to the heroin addicts in Kensington.
They won the game.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
They beat the Browns.
That's after a win.
He's
And
really
they-
from Philly, too.
And they're like, why is this guy chirping these fans?
Well, there you have it.
Dickhead.
Well-
the only thing we gained in this.
Holy shit, that's good.
Ty, how many of this?
Almost every single one, every single overreaction from Eagles fans had to do with Sirianni. There was nothing else anyone had any gripes with.
They beat the Browns.
Yes.
A professional football team.
Hurts played great.
This fucking guy. And he's going to have the gall to talk shit to us.
That's a bad move on his part.
Absolutely. In Philadelphia?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. But like he's saying, it's a bad move for you.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's what he's saying in the entire. What do you say? Feed them to the heroin addicts in Kensington?
Kensington. Yeah.
Jesus, AJ. Jesus.
I mean, well, it didn't help that he. I think people were kind of said he brought his kids up there to the post game presser as well. That didn't help.
Yeah, that's quite a babyface move.
It is.
That's a good babyface move.
Shielded him.
You know, like Commissioner Goodell go out there, bunch of firefighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good move. It's a good move. Hey, we got 10 Make-A-Wish kids coming out here with Commissioner Goodell. That's what we thought.
Don't boo the kids.
That's
Don't boo
what
the
we
kids.
thought. Bringing the kids up on the set. Why are my kids up here? Because there's a family.
Yeah.
That's why. Same one. You got anything to say? Go ahead. We did, but not in front of you. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just like I thought.
They won the game.
Yes, they did.
I won the game. It's hard to win.
NFC East, pretty wide open aside from obviously how the Commanders are, and they obviously fresh off a loss there. So it's like they could really have success this
Could
season.
have a home playoff game.
And these Eagles fans like, well, we're going to hate the guy coaching.
Yeah, we don't care.
All right. Well, good luck, Sirianni. You'll turn them.
Good luck.
You'll turn them.